Kicking things off at number 8, we've got the Fireworks Shield, an absolute monster when it comes to passive offense. The shield doesn't just protect you, it fights for you. Every time you score a kill, it unleashes a cascade of homing missiles that chain from one target to the next. And those missiles can chain again and again until entire groups of enemies are wiped out before you can even reload. The result? A single kill can trigger a fireworks show of explosions across the battlefield, turning tough encounters into highlight reel moments. At number 7, we've got the Crit Knife, one of the nastiest little tools you can carry. On the surface, it's just a throwable blade, but here's the kicker. Once it connects, that enemy is completely exposed. For the next 5 seconds, every single hit you deal to them, bullets, grenades, melee, counts as a critical hit. That means insane damage output with zero effort. And here's the best part. You get 3 charges and a super fast cooldown. That means you can rotate throws to keep high priority targets constantly vulnerable, or cycle it during boss fights to melt health bars in record time. It's efficient, it's reliable, and it turns tough fights into easy wins. Coming in at number 6 is the Birt's Bees SMG, and this one is pure chaos in a magazine. On paper, it's already strong, but the role I landed turned it into something special. It's rocking Torg's explosive impact rounds, which combined with Jacob's signature crit ricochet makes it truly something to behold. Every round explodes on contact, and when you nail a critical hit, it doesn't just stop there. Those crits ricochet, sending additional rounds flying into other enemies nearby. The result? A chain reaction of explosions, crits, and ricochets that feels less like gunfire and more like a storm of angry bees swarming across the battlefield. This isn't just powerful, it's fun. The sound, the explosions, the way enemies just disappear under the barrage, it's pure Borderlands mayhem. And because it's an SMG, you can keep that damage flowing non-stop. Point it at a mob and within seconds you've got explosions bouncing around the room, crits chaining everywhere, and enemies scrambling just to survive. The Birt's Bees isn't just an efficient DPS weapon, it's one of those guns you use because it makes you smile every time you pull the trigger. Brutal, chaotic, and hands down one of the most entertaining weapons I've ever had in Borderlands. At number 5, we've got something less of a weapon and more of a broken game mechanic. This isn't tied to any one gun, it works with any Vladof SMG that rolls Torg sticky explosive rounds and a taser for the alternate fire. Here's how it works. Torg stickies don't explode until you reload or swap modes, and they stack damage the more you stick to an enemy. Normally you would dump the mag, reload, and watch the fireworks, but if you hold the trigger until you've got just a couple bullets left, then swap over to the taser without letting go of the trigger, you get an insane synergy. All the stickies pop, multiplied by the taser effect, and bosses just melt. The best part, it doesn't rely on class skills or unique gear. Any character can pull this off, and it's hands down one of the most busted tricks in Borderlands 4. If you haven't tried it yet, you're missing out. At number 4, we've got another completely busted Vladof setup. The recipe is simple. Vladof SMG with a flamethrower underbarrel, then pair it with the bullet hose enhancement. That enhancement gives any gun with Vladof parts a 30% chance to fire an extra projectile, and normally that's just a nice little damage boost. But with this combo, it breaks wide open. Here's what you do. Hold down the trigger. While you're still firing, just spam the swap mode button as fast as you can. The game registers each swap and stacks the extra projectile bonus every single time. After a handful of swaps, your SMG is no longer an SMG. It's firing so many rounds per shot that it behaves like a full-auto shotgun, with insane spread and ridiculous burst damage. There's no trick to master, no rhythm to learn. It's literally just hold the trigger and mash the swap, and once you've stacked enough extra rounds, the damage output is off the charts. Enemies evaporate, mobs deleted in seconds. Even bosses get torn apart before they can react. And the kicker? Once you've built up those projectile stacks, you don't even need to keep bullet hose equipped. You can swap your enhancement to literally anything else, and the stacked projectiles stay locked onto that SMG until you unequip it or quit the game. You're basically carrying a permanent, supercharged shotgun that only looks like a Vladof SMG. It's absurd, it's reliable, and it's one of the most fun exploits in Borderlands 4. At number 3, we've got the Hot Slugger, an insanely fun and devastating Jacobs shotgun. This thing is a single-shot powerhouse that dishes out brutal damage, and here's where it gets awesome. The reload animation is a lightning-fast one-handed twirl, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2. The first time you see it, you'll grin. The 100th time, it's still cool. The Hot Slugger's unique effect makes it even crazier. Every time you score a kill, your damage goes up by 30% for 10 seconds. And here's the kicker. Those boosts can stack up to 3 times. If you're skilled enough to keep the streak going, you'll be firing a shotgun that's dealing just under double its base damage, melting anything unlucky enough to get in your way. Now, it's not just point and shoot. You do need a bit of timing and precision to maximize the stacks, but when you pair it with the crit knife, it becomes absolutely disgusting. You mark a target, guarantee crits, then twirl and blast with the Hot Slugger for damage numbers that feel broken. It's stylish, it's powerful, and it's one of the few weapons that feels just as fun to use as it is strong. Style points out the ass and a body count to match. If you haven't tried the Hot Slugger yet, you owe it to yourself to give this thing a shot. At number 2, we've got the legendary assault rifle fittingly called the Wombo Combo. On its own, it's already ridiculous. A high fire rate minigun that can roll with any element, boasting a massive magazine and higher than average damage per bullet. That alone would make it a top tier weapon, but the Wombo Combo doesn't stop there. Attached underneath is a grenade launcher, but this grenade launcher you don't have to swap to. It rapid fires grenades at the same time you're holding down the trigger for the minigun. You're literally spraying bullets and grenades together in one non-stop barrage. It's 2 guns in one. Pure chaos on the battlefield, and honestly, if this thing existed in real life, the Geneva Convention would have banned it before the first prototype ever hit the range. The Wombo Combo is devastating, versatile, and without a doubt, one of the most satisfying assault rifles in Borderlands 4. And finally, taking the top spot on my list, the San Saba Songbird. This one is personal because it's a direct nod to one of my favorite films, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. The red text reads, "Let me tell you, buddy, there's a faster gun," a quote straight out of the movie. And trust me, there's no faster, stronger gun in Borderlands 4 right now. On paper, the Songbird is already impressive. My current weapon packs over 2,000 damage per shot, a snappy 1.9 second reload, and a tight 4-round cylinder. But the magic comes from its unique effect, and it's absolutely busted. Whenever you swap to the Songbird, it grants a 100% damage boost for 5 seconds. Sounds great on its own, right? Well, here's the kicker. You can stack that buff indefinitely. The technique does take a little bit of practice, though. You fire most of your cylinder, start a reload, then before it finishes, you swap to another gun and immediately swap back. Each time you do that, the Songbird stacks another 100% damage boost. You can repeat this over and over, and once you've mastered the rhythm, this revolver climbs into absolutely absurd territory. I've personally stacked it to over 1 million damage per shot, and at that point, there's no enemy, no boss, not even Ultimate Vault Hunter Mode 5 that can survive it. You can keep stacking higher, but honestly, there's no reason. Nothing in the game will stand against it. It will literally one-shot any boss in the game. To make the technique easier, I usually unequip 2 of my weapons so I can double-tap swap between the Songbird and a single backup gun. If you don't want to have to press reload every time, you can empty the cylinder, since hitting 0 ammo automatically triggers a reload, giving you the same window to stack. It's slightly slower, but still effective. Now here's where I take it even further. I carry 2 Songbirds. One is a standard bullet variant, the monster revolver I've been talking about. The other rolled with stickies. That one is perfect for purple crystal enemies that spawn with invulnerability shields. The splash damage from the stickies instantly destroys the crystals and deletes their health bar in milliseconds. The bottom line, the San Saba Songbird is one of the most powerful weapons in Borderlands 4 by a massive margin. It's actually not one of, it is the most powerful. It's the most powerful weapon in Borderlands history. It's stylish, it's cinematic, it's devastating, and it's the perfect closer for this list. My advice, enjoy it while you can, because there's no way the devs intended for this gun to be this strong, and I'd bet money a nerf is coming sooner rather than later. And that wraps up my list of the top 8 pieces of gear in Borderlands 4. From busted mechanics to iconic firepower, every one of these picks changes the way you play the game. But that's just my list. What's yours? Drop your favorites in the comments and let me know if there's any gear I missed that deserves a spotlight. If you enjoyed the breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more Borderlands content, and stay tuned. I've got plenty more builds, guides, and highlight reels coming your way. Until next time, keep looting, keep shooting, and I'll see you in the next one.